convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein today lost his bid to have 11 sexual assault charges he's facing in Los Angeles thrown out by a judge. Judge Lisa Lench denied the one-time Hollywood big shot's motion to dismiss the charges, including rape, sexual battery, forced oral copulation, and forced sexual penetration, involving 5 unnamed women between 2004 and 2013. At a criminal court in downtown LA today, Weinstein's lawyer, Mark Worksman, argued that the grand jury which indicted his client had been manipulated by prosecutors who had presented weak, lame, false, and misleading evidence supported by pseudoscientific testimony from expert witnesses. But Judge Lench disagreed, telling the court that she felt prosecutors did not manipulate the grand jury and saying that she did not find irregularities in the evidence prosecutors presented to the grand jury. After adding, "I find that there is sufficient evidence to support the charges," the judge asked Weinstein, "You have a right to have a trial within 120 days. Is that agreeable to you?" He replied, "Yes." Weinstein, 69, wearing brown prison overalls and blue mask and sitting handcuffed in a wheelchair at court today, showed no emotion when the judge threw out his attempt to have the charges dropped. He already entered not guilty pleas on all 11 charges when he appeared in court in July after being extradited to LA from New York, where he's serving a 23-year prison sentence for rape and sexual assault of 2 women. If he's convicted of the LA charges, the man who helped spark the #MeToo movement is looking at a maximum total sentence of 140 years in prison. Most of the alleged crimes happened at LA area hotels where the New York-based Weinstein was staying during visits to Hollywood. Weinstein insists that any sexual activity was consensual. His lawyer claimed there were inconsistencies in the grand jury testimony of the victims, Jane Does 1 through 5, and all of them continue to communicate with Weinstein after the alleged sex assaults. Jane Doe 1 described a sexual act that was physically impossible, said Worksman. Jane Doe 2 went back to see Weinstein the day after she claimed he sexually assaulted her, he added. Jane Doe 3 is a masseuse who agreed to let him, Weinstein, masturbate in front of her in exchange for him helping her Hollywood career ambitions, Worksman told the court. Jane Doe 4 faked an orgasm, said Worksman, so how was Weinstein to know that she was not consenting to a sexual act? She testified that she acquiesced to sex because she felt she had to because of the possible effect on her career if she did it. Jane Doe 5, he added, agreed to get undressed and get in a shower with a man she claimed had previously raped her and let him rub shower gel on her naked body. Worksman slammed a 1,000-page medical report prosecutors presented to the grand jury, calling it incomprehensible gobbledygook. And he attacked the 2 medical experts the prosecution called as witnesses, saying the grand jury was bludgeoned by their preposterous testimony. prosecutor Paul Thompson denied Worksman's claims, saying, "We did not say anything incorrect to the grand jury," and accusing his opposing counsel of misrepresenting the evidence that was put before the grand jury. The grand jury was instructed on the law, on what constituted consent, and the grand jury indicted. Jane Doe 3 told him to stop, Thompson said. Jane Doe 4 was trembling, shaking and crying when he was assaulting her. Jane Doe 5 thought he had the power to destroy her career, so she got in the shower with him. That is not voluntary. That is why the grand jury indicted. At an earlier hearing, Worksman was granted a request for a medical evaluation of the former film mogul who is reportedly suffering from spinal stenosis and is blind in one eye. Weinstein, who is being held at the Twin Towers jail in downtown Los Angeles, used his medical ailments as a reason to hold up his extradition to LA for many months. And outside that July 21 hearing, women's rights lawyer Gloria Allred, who represents one of Weinstein's New York victims and two of his alleged victims in LA, scorned the delaying tactics in an interview with DailyMail.com. "I am happy that this day has come and am looking for a fair trial here in Los Angeles," she said. Mr. Weinstein and his defense have been delaying his extradition to Los Angeles for a long time, she said. But he finally ran out of excuses. It's absurd that he claimed he needed to stay in New York because he needed medical care. We have excellent medical care here in LA. I think that it's important for him to face trial here in LA because some of his victims here have not had their day in court. Justice may have been delayed in Los Angeles, but it's not going to be denied.